Good morning, students. Happy New Year to one and all. Have a nice year for you. And this year should be a good academic year also. So let us go to the class. This class we are going to see the remaining part of the conditionals. Now here use of be in the second conditional. Use of be. Be, I already told you. I have already taught you what is be. This is a big heading. The different forms of be are, is, are, was, were, being, been, will be, shall be, etc. And in the conditionals, we use different forms of verb be. The verb be has a special rule when used in second conditionals. That is why we are specially mentioning about the use of verb be in the conditional, second conditional. We use the simple past tense in the if clause in second conditionals to show that something is impossible or unreal. That's the important thing. We use what? Simple past tense, where in the if clause in second conditionals to show that something is impossible or unreal. Either it is unreal or it is not going to be happen anymore. Impossible. Now look at this. If she were smart, she would move out. The meaning is that unreal. She is not smart. It is impossible. Second, if they were here, they would never agree. It is also, they were not here, so it is unreal. So it is impossible. So that is the use of verb be. Look at here. Normally after she was should come because she is singular. But in the case of unreal or impossible condition, we use plural form of verb be after the subject, even though the subject is singular. That's why if she were smart, okay, they no problem, plural. So if we use past tense plural of even though subject is singular in the if clause, that means it is unreal or impossible. Exercise 3. Use the correct form of the verbs in brackets to form the second conditional in each of these sentences. The answer is given. You can go through and try to understand. Then you will understand the meaning, the use of verb be and the use of the tense, past tense. The clause we all use past tense. Where, became, watched, where, would beat, would call, would know, would be. Understand? Now, third conditional. Look at these sentences. If you had stayed longer, you would have met him. If she had slept late, she would have missed her flight. If Shilpa had told the truth, she would have felt better. These 3 sentences are given. Each of these sentences talks of a past action that did not take place. Each is an unreal or hypothetical condition. So third condition is unreal or impossible or hypothetical, guessing. Such state sentences which describe a situation that did not happen and imagine the result of the situation are said to be the third conditionals. Such sentences which describes a situation but that did not happen. It did not happen. And only imagine the result of the situation. We imagine what would have happened if it happened. That is the meaning of that condition, are said to be the third conditionals. We use the third conditional to talk about the past. Use the third conditional to talk about the past. We use the past perfect tense in the E clause, would have plus past participle of the verb in the main clause. Very, very important. The use of tense. In the second condition, we use past tense in the E clause. Here we are use past perfect, that is had plus past participle form of the verb. And the main clause, would plus base form in the second condition. The third condition, it is would plus have plus could have or could or might. We use could have, would have, should have. And would have plus past participle of the verb in the main clause. We can also use the modal verbs should, could, might, as in the previous cases, instead of would to talk, obligations, possibility, or ability. If you speak about obligations or possibility or ability, we can use other auxiliaries instead of would, should, could, and might. Should have, could have, might have. I'm explaining once more. In the case of third conditional, the verb in the E clause is past perfect, that is had plus past participle. In the verb in the main clause is would have plus past participle, or should have plus past participle, or could have plus past participle, or might have plus past participle form of the verb. And should have, could have, might have we use for talking obligations, possibility, and or ability. Look at the example. If Rani had decided to go, she would have left earlier. So we use should here because it's an obligation. If Rani had decided to go, she would have left earlier. The action is impossible. She never decided and she never left. If I had known, I might have gone to the party. Possibility. If I had gone, I might have gone to the party. If I had known, I did not know, I did not go. That's the meaning. I did not go, I did not go. So the possibility we use past third conditional. And the verb might. Auxiliary we use might plus have plus past participle. If we had asked him, he would have helped. Ability. That also possibility. So important thing is that here we use should have, might have, could have. That's correct because obligation, to show obligation, possibility, and ability. Remember, in these sentences, the condition cannot be fulfilled because the action in the E clause did not happen. That is important. My dear student, you should learn it because we quite often use this kind of expressions. The third condition for expressing future the event or to expressing impossible condition. Just like we are saying something, but it not happen. That's a good usage in English. So study. What do you think that the verb and tense? Here we use past perfect in the if clause and would have plus past participle in the main clause. And if it express obligation, possibility or ability, we use should have, might have and could have. Now look at the examples. Use the correct form of the verbs in brackets to form the third conditional in each of these sentences. I have given the answers. Go through and study it and study the exercises. You see the verb in the if clause, we use past perfect. Heard, listened, heard, arrived, heard, exercised, had, invited. The main clause, you can would not have been, because verb be ആണ്. The sixth, had wanted. 7, had learned. 8, that is main clause, would have visited. 9th, if clause, had known. 10th, we would not have been, that is main clause. So look at the main clause, would have, would have, would have. So study the exercises. Now there is one usage you have to very careful to. It is important to learn. Conditionals without if. Normally we use if with the conditionals, but sometimes we should not use if. That is stylish usage. Instead of if, we use what? Look at the sentence. The conditional sentences we have studied so far contain an if clause and a main clause. I hope you understand. We can also make conditional clauses without if. That is the important thing you are going to see here. We have already learned conditionals with if clause. Now there are situations we use conditionals without if. Look at the sentence. Says here, if Nitin goes, ask him to meet me. Instead of if, we can use should here. Should Nitin call, ask him to meet me. The meaning is if, should not an auxiliary. Here the meaning of, we put should instead of if. Should call, we use instead of if Nitin could calls. If Nitin calls, should Nitin call. If I were the Prime Minister, I would have better roads built. You can use this way. Were I the Prime Minister, I would have better road built. If we had taken the metro, we would have reached. Had we taken the metro, we would have reached. Note that in these sentences, the modals or helping verbs come before the noun or pronoun. That is, in the place of if, we use modal auxiliaries or helping verbs before the noun pronouns. Now another important, that is transformation. Unless, the meaning is if not, unless. That is a usage for the exams. You expect for the exams. Unless, meaning is if not. There is nothing I can do if you do not apologize. We can use this way. There is nothing I can do unless you apologize. No. When we use unless, you have to take the not out. Very careful. You should not use not after unless. You know why? We use an auxiliary there, do not or did not. You know that I taught you earlier, in English, we should not use not for to show negative sense. So if you do not apologize, you change it into unless you apologize. So what we take it out, if and do, if and do not, we removed. Instead, we use unless. Very important. See, structure is, or the usage of unless is simple, but this is little complicated. Or it is usage. You have to understand the meaning, then use it. Not simply adding unless the being in the place of if, the meaning is gone. You have to understand the meaning. Then if you had, then use unless. There is some changes in the if clause and the unless clause and the main clause. There is nothing now. In the sentences above, unless is used in the conditional clause to mean the same as if not. Why so if dot not? Because after if we put you, if you do not. The example if you do not, that's why if not. That's the meaning is if not. When we want to emphasize condition, we use not unless. Here it has the same effect as only if. So we use to emphasize, we use not dash unless. Here it has the same effect of only if. They will come only if you invite me. So they will not come unless you invite me. You take only if. Then look at the main clause became negative. Unless clause is not negative. Here unless the meaning is only if. It's a positive sense, not negative sense. They will use only if you invite them. They will not come unless you invite them. In case, another usage. The phrase in case is used in a conditional sense in two ways. The phrase in case is used in a conditional tense in two ways. First, to talk of what we can do before a problem occurs. To talk of what we can do before a problem occurs. In this case, we use in case. Second, to talk about what we'll do after the problem occurs. So, before the problem occurs and after the problem occurs, we use the usage in case. Provided that, next comes, look at the, we will have the party in the lawns. Let us also took the banquet hall in case it rained. So here problem is not occurred. It may happen. So we can use in case. Let us also book the banquet hall in case it rains. That if it rains. We say that we are expecting a rain, but we are not sure. If it happens, it is good to book another place, book a banquet hall. We cannot conduct the party in the lawns. Second, if it rains, it happened, we will ship everything in the banquet hall. Here the problem occurs. If it rains, they wanted to shift everything into the banquet hall. So this is the use of in case. Now there are other conditionals. Provided that, as long as, so long as. Provided that and as long as mean the same as only if. meaning is the meaning only if. So long as also means the same, but it is slightly less formal. You may participate in the competition provided that your parents sign. That's a condition. If your parents signs, no problem. That's the meaning. If you want to go, you have to get the permission of the signature of your parents. My parents allow me a lot freedom as long as I score well in the exams. Condition is there. As long as, till, if I do not score well, my parents do not give me permission, freedom. Exercises, I think read the following sentence using unless, in case, provided that, so long as, or as long as. All these are same, almost same meaning. Unless is different meaning. In case, provided that, as long as, or so long as. You try to understand the meaning of the exercises and change it accordingly using either unless or in case or provided that or so long as or as long as. I think the answer is given, also given in the key is given in here, the exercise 5, and 4 it is given the book itself. So the conditionals are finished. Now what remains is you have to learn it. I will ask questions from this section for the second semester unit test. Please study. This is important for improving your English language, not only speaking but also writing. So my dear students, study it. If you give some importance, some interest, you can study it. The main thing is that the use of tenses, verb and tenses, that's very important. So study the rules, regulations, and have a nice day and study it. Now next, I think next chapter 24 is active and passive voice. That's a long chapter. I already learned the 7th standard. There is no need of taking it, but I will take active passive voice also. Have a nice day. Wish you all the best.